We OG, oh no, G. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got D or no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload, yeah. Experts on reload, yeah. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got D or no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock, ayy. Rooms is coming, everybody on a knot, ayy. It's a nuisance, Ordinal Revolution, ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, it's my guy for real, bro. Got friends right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, like it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nookies on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me. Bitcoin's alive, what you gon' do? Mempool fees are high. Ordinal. Where does it stop? Nobody knows. It's a revolution, ayy. Bitcoin is the one, no substitution, ayy. With Shizzy and Yagobi, it's Ordinal Revolution.
Welcome back to Ordinal Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin Ordinal ecosystem. What's up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We're live for another Ordinal Hour, and it's going to be a good one. Today's Wednesday, so we'll have some we'll have Traverse on later today, so that should be always fun with those guys. Kind of digging into protecting our assets. You know, we're accumulating right now in these down times, and you got to definitely be safe with it. So we'll have Traverse on later, kind of push that narrative of really being hygienic with your wallets. You brush your teeth, you should definitely have some stuff locked up for sure. But we got amazing show today. The banners are full as always. We got we're going to talk a little bit about what Powell said yesterday, on top of a bunch of other stuff. We got a bunch of charts to show. Yagobi's going to dig into this sad price action, which is always my favorite part of the show here. We're going to get into some programmable runes. We do have some atomical stuff for the first time in a long time. They had an upgrade last week we're going to get into. And then, obviously, the track validator license presale, we'll get into that whole article and everything there. And the Tap Wallet Explorer, their marketplace is coming too. And then an update from Ghosty Cash as well. So we got a packed show today. Let's get this started. I'm bringing my partner here, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's going on?
What's going on, man? So it's Wednesday. It's down. Last night was terrible. We got pretty low. How low did we get?
To the flow. No, we we touched back into 59K. I think we hit 59 like 8, 59.7 maybe. It went down pretty hard at one point, so maybe it got even lower than that. I definitely didn't expect it to get this aggressive, but I did expect us to go down. I mentioned yesterday that the 4-hour chart was just really pointing to this very obviously. And so, we have recovered some. And so there's a couple people I was watching yesterday. I think like Frankie Candles pointed out that there's a good opportunity for a strong bounce back. We just needed that sell down. So it's something that a lot of people think that we needed, right? I was kind of calling for it. I was like, I just want to get it out the way. Let's go. Let's just get through it. Hit those low numbers, and so we're sitting here right now at like 60,100, right? We'll get into what I think is going to happen here in the next couple of days. Probably completely wrong with that, but we'll see.
Yeah, To your point there, like we're on like almost 150 days of sideways. I should say sideways between 58,000 and 72,000. It's been really really tough for a lot of people. That's why you kind of see people really not paying attention in June. Do you think people start paying attention again in July?
Well, I think that there was people that were paying attention in June, but it was the beginning of June, right?
Yeah.
Like the very beginning of June when things were still pretty good. June 7th is really when that downtrend started. But leading up to then, and even like a week or two afterwards, the celebrity coins and stuff were
Yeah.
still, those were popping, and people had their focus over there. What I think it's going to take for people to really start to come back in is, yes, Bitcoin's going to have to have an aggressive move back up, at least like clear the threat of breaking below 60 again, because that's happened twice this morning.
Yeah.
I think it might have touched 59 last night, but it seems to bounce back pretty quick every time it does do that.
Yeah.
But I think the one thing we got to watch out for is like the next time if it happens, if it breaks below 60, which it just did, right when I said that, does it break below 58? If that happens, I think that we're in trouble, right?
Yeah.
So so if we can break away from it, get back to like 60, 64, 65, and kind of chop between there a little bit, and then start that aggressive leg up in July, heading towards 70,000. There's a lot of people calling for that, in the middle of July, towards the end of July. That's when I think people will start to get interested in, and then people start releasing launches and stuff with ordinal collections and tokens and all that stuff.
Yeah, August is definitely going to be going crazy with that stuff because we know a lot of people that are launching in August. But let's kind of get into this real quick. So we were just talking about it. July 11th and July 12th are big economic data days. Not only do we get our weekly jobless claim, but we get CPI on Thursday and PPI on Friday. CPI being a consumer price index and the PPI being the producer price index. And they're huge economic data that Jerome Powell uses to kind of either raise rates, drop rates, or keep them the same. The last 3 months, we've been in a pause, which means we've been in an environment where rates have stayed the same. We're about 5.25. A lot of people are thinking that we get a pause again. We kind of just don't do anything. But I think differently. I think this next one, I think the Democrats are going to push inflation down, so that's no longer a topic. If we get it back in the twos, even 2.99 for that sake, I think that will kind of open things up for Jerome to drop rates back at least down to 5 from 5.25. So that's what I'm thinking happens. And what that's going to do, that's going to set us off into a blaze. You're going to see all risk on happening. And, because then people are going to be expecting another one and another one and another one. And people look to price those things in very quickly. What's your opinion on this? So do you think we hit that? And do you think we get a cut?
So I don't know. I don't think we hit that.
Yeah.
Not this month. Probably, I don't think we ever do. Honestly, it's such a hard goal, right? And I think that's the point. Is like I'm constantly like a unattainable target. But in terms of rate cuts, I don't know. I just don't know. Like, I don't know how the committee, like, they're feeling, with the Fed. With the way that like the economy is going to, and all, I think there's more factors than where it's not just as black and white as, okay, these numbers are this, and that, right? Obviously, if they hit 2, then I think they kind of don't have a choice because they've been screaming that forever. But I just don't think it's as easy as just looking at these data points and that they're gonna cut rates. But I think they're going to get pressure from the administration, but do you think they will listen to the administration? That's the thing. You think they will? Because they've gotten pressure from them already, right? Have they not?
No, I don't think so. I think Biden's been
Elizabeth Warren has sent like multiple letters to.
She's a nobody though. She can yell and scream till the roof comes off. But until the real person is Biden and the Secretary of Treasury Janet Yellen. Once they start publicly speaking, that's when it'll happen. Janet is Powell's boss, I think. I think that's like the only person that can actually really tell him what to do. And Joe has the power to fire him, and Joe hasn't fired anyone. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, but like, what is it going to take for them to actually be vocalize? That. I mean, if you were
2.99.
them, would you not have told him to raise or cut rates a couple months ago?
No. Well, you're afraid of him. You're afraid to come out vocally. So they're probably telling him behind closed doors, right? But I think to come out, to the press and say we need to drop the rates, that's different. That's publicly, and I think that's like them, like, you better do this. I think that's like more of a threat, behind closed doors.
And you feel like
that
like they're not at that level.
2.99 will, because the last thing they want is inflation to go back up. They don't want to report in 2 months in closer to the election where inflation has risen, right? So they're kind of like, if we can get it under 2.99, we can. I mean, they do it so old school, where they send people to stores to buy things. They send people to stores to look at prices of stuff. They do it. It's not real economic data. It's seriously just like people like working. Like, it's not real data at all. It's not coming from your credit card bills. It's not coming from anything like that. It's coming from old school data, and it can be very easily changed.
Old school approach to acquiring data. Yeah, they're doing different regions, probably like how the regions are set up for the Fed anyways, and just doing that, like purchasing from those regions and averaging it out. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I'm just not optimistic that he's going to cut anything anytime soon.
Okay. Jumping here, Japanese yen collapse continues and is on track for a fresh 38-year low. The yen here, I think, is a big reason why Bitcoin is kind of crashing. This isn't good. This is a currency collapse, which is good for Bitcoin in the long run, but in the short-term price action, having a currency kind of go to zero kind of gets people in risk off. And Bitcoin looked at as a risk-on asset. This isn't a very good thing for every economy, because we're going to have to come in. They can come in and they can start dropping bombs, like a lot of them.
Yeah. So what are they putting their yen into?
What do you mean? Putting their yen in the dollar. The DXY is going up.
Gotcha. Okay. So they haven't sold off the bonds yet, because that would crash the dollar.
But exactly. So we'll see.
Yeah, we shall see. I mean, like, from a logical standpoint, it should actually propel Bitcoin if
long term. Yeah, for sure. But like I said, it being looked at as a risk-on asset with like tech stocks right now. For now, I think that's just a for now thing. But it is being looked at as a risk-on asset. Bitcoin ETF net flows turns negative on July 2nd. Negative 14 million. I'm just going to hit on these really quickly. Grayscale outflows, 32.4 million, exceeding inflows of all Bitcoin ETFs. So the outflows of Grayscale alone exceeded every other one, BlackRock being negative 14. BlackRock records lowest inflow of the day. So that's kind of the same there. And then, wrong one. Bitcoin seems to be following the pattern. So
I was like, did someone sneak that banner in there? The pattern.
That was me.
The pattern.
Okay, so this is the pattern that I was alluding to here. So real quick though, let's hit on what do you think about the net outflows and stuff like that before we get into this chart?
Well, I'm not shocked, because July 7th or July 1st had like an enormous amount of inflows, right? So it was just kind of balancing that out a little bit, right? So all right. Well,
this right here, this is a chart from
Crypto Titan.
Yeah, Crypto Titan, and he basically says we're at the bottom of the gap here, and we have officially hit. So he basically sees some sideways, but then a pop up, and he sees us hitting 72,000 by the 11th, which is honestly perfect in line with the CPI data.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, that chart looks good from what I'm seeing right now, right? So that's like the third. That's kind of where we are right now. And then he's projecting chop until really to start pulling up on. That looks like to be like maybe over the weekend a little bit.
Yeah.
Heading into Monday with a big green candle. That would be great. You know, we'll see if that happens. it's been bloodbath since
Yeah.
really yesterday morning. So
Yeah, it changes. I really do think it changes.
Yeah.
And here's another chart from him as well. He's saying we're in an ascending triangle, and this is the ascending triangle pattern. This is a normal one, and this is where we're at here, and it looks pretty identical to what we're experiencing here. And the same thing. He sees a blow up to about what's this, about 80,000 by September. It's looking so. It's another chart, like a long chart here, but that's definitely something that's everyone's calling for that. And I really think we get an explosion in ordinals if this does happen.
Yeah, definitely we will. All fungible tokens in our ecosystem and ordinal collections will benefit from that. But he's not the only one that feels this way, so it makes me feel pretty confident. There's a couple other really good chartists that are saying actually we needed this drawdown. I gave you an example of, I feel like we're kind of like Rocky, right? Like in that like fifth round, fourth round is just bloody, just got beat up, all 5 rounds. And we recovered a little bit. We just got beat up again, face bloody and stuff. And it's like, how many times can you take this beat down? And I feel like this is where Rocky comes back, right? Like, so we're, we touched 59,000 again. If we can get away from that damn 59,000 number, I think that could be the last time that we see it.
Yep,
possibly ever.
Everything's pointing up. I mean, Plan B put on another chart yesterday. This is kind of like the 4-year cycle chart. Same thing here. So you basically get something like what we had over here, up, down. So we're seeing this kind of happen, repeat itself here. But you can see, even if it is held down for a little while, it eventually comes up, and it eventually comes up. So I think we're going to have a repeat. I think we're definitely going to have a, this is the Bitcoin Relative Strength Index, and I think over the RSI, and I think the RSI is about to explode. I think July and August are going to be really amazing, and we're going to see something very similar to what I think we've seen over in 2016 and 2020. So it's about to happen. You can see that's the COVID dip right there, and then explosion. And I think this is the the July dip here, and we're going to have an explosion. So
the June dip.
June dip. June into July.
Yeah. The major difference. What's the major difference out of this cycle compared to the previous 3?
The major difference is we already hit an all-time high.
Yeah, with the blue dots, right? So the blue dot. I mean, look at that. I mean, I know that's crazy how it's changed. But that's first year of ETF, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, go back and look at gold, and when the ETF started, it got hyper aggressive. I expect that to happen for this cycle, right? So,
and it was kind of like this was a black swan event with the COVID crash, and this was kind of like the opposite of that with this upward movement. So you kind of get these once in a lifetime things that happen, whether that be the COVID stuff or this ETF. So the charts kind of definitely take on outside information, but they always do the same thing no matter what happens. It kind of always has something. So, but yeah, man.
Yep.
All right, this is the last piece of data news, and I just wanted to throw this in there because I thought it was awesome. GTA 6 will enable cryptocurrency payments. So far, only Bitcoin, Ethereum, and USDT confirmed. The USDT will be on Ethereum chain only, so you won't be able to send it from Solana or anything else. But I thought this was really awesome. Rumors has it that they're going to have their own coin. Once regulatory gets a little stronger to that, and if Trump wins, that could definitely be something that happens, because it isn't due out till November of 2025. So it could be a year of good stuff for crypto. Rockstar comes out with the Rockstar coin, and then potentially your in-game currency of earning it. Let's just say you're doing crazy jump tricks, you earn some Rockstar coin, and then you're able to send that to Coinbase and potentially trade that in for Bitcoin. Right, or keep it if the price goes up, right? Like, so you're gonna be able to do in-game jobs and hire people to do things in the game, pay them in Rockstar coin, and then send that to Coinbase and either cash it out, put it in your bank account or whatever. So people are gonna be working in this game. It's pretty insane.
Yeah, I mean, but hasn't this rumor been around forever?
Yes, but we never had regulatory where they'd be allowed to do something like this.
So this is them coming out saying this.
This is them teasing it. So everything else is rumored. But this is the first time they've came out. This is them coming out saying this. They will enable cryptocurrency payments. So this
Okay.
is, you know,
Well, if
but
they,
you can do that right now, but you can't say we're going to have a Rockstar coin, right?
Yeah.
Especially being a private traded company. So I think that would be huge if they come out with a cryptocurrency, the Rockstar coin, and you're able to earn in-game stuff. Like you can pay someone to go like get you a nice car or stuff like that. Or like,
you know, what would be even more huge if it was a rune. That would be even more huge.
well,
That would
yeah.
be
Well, I don't know if
huge.
that's going to happen. That's why it's in this section of, of the news and not in the ordinal section of the news. But we'll jump in right now. We'll jump out of that stuff and kind of get into the Bitcoin price action, sir. If you wouldn't mind showing us your charts.
Yeah, for sure. But before we do that, guys, 126 people in here. If you're on the YouTube side, please smash that like. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. And then on the Twitter side, please share this space. I want to get as many people in here as possible. But yeah, let's look at the nasty. I said that like 3 days in a row. Let's look at the nasty, bloody charts here. All right, perfect. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I am looking at the 1 hour chart here, and as you can see, we have been stuck in quicksand down here and oversold for a very long time since the first, right? And it's felt like forever. I know it's only 3 days, but that 3 days have been like just getting straight up beat down after beat down, right? So it's almost kind of like, you know, this pent up demand of wanting to break out of this. So this is the hour chart. We need to have some like consistent buy pressure support to really take advantage of this, though, because every time, like even like this green candle that finally we got one that was decent size on the hour chart, and bam, just right back, we just sold down right back, almost like eliminated it. It is up a little bit from when we started that green candle, but yeah, so if we can get a good strong green candle with some buy pressure support, we can take advantage of this, you know, pent up demand of trying to get out of here and hopefully, you know, start this trajectory back up. But if we don't have that support, then I actually see further down for today. Now we are perfectly set up for it. Like you see on the MACD, like the candles are getting more white and smaller. So the sell pressure is weakening, but I thought that back over here, right in the beginning, and over here and over here. So let's kind of hope that this is the last one and we can actually blast up here. If that's the case, man, we could actually get back to 61.5, 62. That would be really, really great to see today. Okay, so that's kind of the short term. We really need to see some really buy pressure momentum. If we don't see that, then probably further down for today. But the 4 hour chart, man, this is something I was calling like on Monday. You know, I felt like we went through a pretty bad beatdown last week, and you know there was an opportunity for us to really jump out of it, and we did show some life here. But even at that point, I was like, I am worried because we were in overbought for so long on the stochastic RSI. And you know, once we go back down, we haven't been in sell pressure, you know, or oversold since June 24th, and now we're back there finally again. And how long are we going to stay here? Because we hit overbought 3 times over here, right? So, you know, it really depends on how long this bleed out lasts on the 4 hour chart to kind of determine where we're going to end up, you know, Friday or over the weekend. I'm hoping this is short lived. We hang out down here maybe for the rest of today and start, you know, to pull back up. And that 1 hour chart, if we get that buy pressure support, then that could help with this, obviously, right? So that is the midterm. I'm kind of still looking like doom and gloom a little bit for the midterm. I do feel like 60,000 has been pretty strong support though, because every time it's gone below 60,000, it's touched 59,000, it jumps right back. So that's a really good sign. And then the 12 hour chart, which will give us kind of a forecast of 2 weeks, up to 2 weeks, I would say. We were looking pretty good here up until obviously you can see that sell momentum started happening, and then our buy pressure on the MACD started weakening a little bit. And so, you know, we can see this kind of bounce back, something like this, if we barely touch into oversold and get back. Because I do think that July is going to have to be some sort of relief in this month, right? Like, yes, they could beat us down for the first half, but then the fear and greed index will probably be like at, I don't know, maybe like 10, which would be crazy, or 20 or something. But yeah, so the two week is not looking the best, but it's also, you know, there's still life here. We'll see what happens. I do think it turns around though. That is my intuition, kind of gut feeling. I think I agree with a lot of those other chartists that are saying that, you know, this is a drawdown that we needed, and then we'll have a good relief run here soon.
Yeah, I hear you. It definitely looks like, go back real quickly. It definitely looks like accumulation happening now, though. You see, like you know, distribution and downtrend, and then now accumulation. So we'll see what that looks like. But yeah,
this is definitely
looking
a lot of
selling.
consolidation here, and
Yeah, and
we'll
then
see what happens here. I'm really hoping for a good bounce. Everybody's hoping for that, right? Because it affects everything positively. But we shall see.
yeah, man, I'm gonna bring up the Bitcoin Fear and Greed chart in just a second here. I've been using the Binance one. I think I like that one the best. It kind of gives you the best looking numbers for sure.
Wow.
So right now we're at a 50. Yesterday was a 51. Last week was a 46. We're definitely sitting very neutral. And people aren't leaning one way or the other right now. It's kind of like, yeah, but we'll see what happens next week. I definitely think we started to get a little greedy. I mean, we're July of a halving year, right? So, you know, we're definitely going to see green. And I think people just need to stop worrying too much, just kind of relax, enjoy the summer, because when it comes, it's going to be relentless, and you're going to be like, I wish I had this, I wish I had that. So I think now, I mean, for me personally, I'm starting to consolidate some of my more safer assets and kind of get a little bit more degen. That's just my personal, what I'm personally doing. I think you know, RSIC has dropped a lot. Now I've talked crap on RSIC, but I think RSIC could be a good play because they come out any day and kind of give you a glimpse of what they're buying, and then you can see a 40% pop. So I
What
just
they're
want to be
buying
prepared for
or what
that.
they're building?
I mean, what they're building, or you know, or buying. They're buying, you know, all this other. So we'll see what happens with that, because potentially they need to buy assets for their whatever they're building. So we'll see. But yeah, man, jumping here.
I'm actually
now.
a little bit shocked real quick. I want to that it's only 50 because I felt like when did they update that? Do you know?
Every morning, UTC time, I think.
Okay, so maybe the update hasn't happened since this last like bleed out, because I would imagine it will at least go back a couple points, but maybe they'll update it soon, because going back 1 point off of, like, you know, we touched 59,000.
Yeah,
I just expected less than that.
And I know this goes by, it's like volume as well. So it, you know, if people are coming in and buying these giant, and it isn't dipping like insane hard, I think that's when you stay kind of neutral. I think the buying pressure is there. I think that's the only difference of what we're not seeing. Obviously, there's more sellers than buyers right now, but I think the sellers are starting to get like pissed off because they can't take it down to the price they want to take it down to, because there's too many buy the dippers coming in.
Yep.
All right, we'll jump into my favorite part of the show here. We got the roll call. Let's see who is here right now. First of all, jump into the graveyard. Yes, last night I came on and we had a couple comments, but the comments get deleted. If you do it too early, I think these ones are from like 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock yesterday. But from the graveyard, we got Crypto New, followed by Chief Axel, Green Man was there, and Mr. Hanky. There might have been some more, you guys, but that's the last time that I seen the graveyard. But on the live, you know, first is first here, and it's Lucky Lukey. Congratulations, my friend. You win today. You are number one. First is first at 2:57 a.m. Congratulations to you. Followed by the man, the myth, the legend here. 3:25 in the morning. We got Yasher. What our guy right here, man. If you guys don't know, we have a Telegram group that Yasher really helps us out with. He's our moderator, and seriously, I look in the Telegram group, and that's how I get 90% of my banners. And then I start looking the old school way. But he saves me hours of time all in one place. And if you're looking to get into that in that group, it's just news and developments. So you guys just put in what you guys are seeing, and that helps us with the show. Feel free to hit me up, and I can add you to that. But right now, Yazir is king. Yazir is king there. You got Danny Boy right now, GM. Appreciate you, Danny, always being here, man. Appreciate you so much. Reziak in the building, yo, GM. Yasher, Ganesi, Yagobi, please enlighten us with your Bitcoin price action, analysts. So that was that's cool. No, GM to the OR team. Another wonderful day to be. Let's effing go. KDN is here. Ordinal Tweets is here. Mr. Sheedy is here. He said, I've been distracted. Going to get back to what matters most. Trying to watch every day now. You guys are the greatest. Thank you so much, Mr. Sheedy. You are a legend, my friend. Joko is here. Cash Cats is in the building. What is the donuts and his coffee and his dog and his moon?
He's ready, man.
And his moon. He is ready today. Shout out to you, my friend. Thank you so much for being here. Chief Axel is here, and then Superfan, man. We saw that you got reposted by the Black Runner. So congratulations to you, man. You're being highlighted all over the place. You got all the media attention, man. Let's put this project to work, man. I can't wait to see more of what you're building. Akala is here. Mr. She goes, this is a good question. Do you guys have a preference on which platform I should watch on video, YouTube or X? That's up to you. Either way is fine with us, right? I don't think it really matters.
Yeah. They all help. So
yep.
Whatever's better for you.
Chain Watchers here. Keep thinking about this time next year. Yeah, 100%, dude. Next July is going to be absolutely amazing. I can't wait. Tim Baker says, let's get it. Another one of our mods. We appreciate you, Tim. Invictus Slay says, Ordinal Hour Rats from Ordinal 2, right? Yes, Rats is a BRC 20. So, yes, 100%. Rats is now on MEXC. I don't know how I missed that news story last week. I kind of mad at myself for that. But, yeah, Rats is on MEXC now. And it's really blowing up over there. So,
wow.
Marcelio Leo is here. Says,
Mauricio.
What'd I say? Marcelio?
Marcelio. I'm like, where's that
bro? Sorry, man. Danny Boy says, let's go fire sale. I know Danny Boy's buying right now because he's one of the smart ones here. Itatoshi is in the building. Jesus is in the building, or Jesus. Mighty Sonu is here. LSR is here. D-Love is in here. Appreciate you, D-Love. LSR is in the building. Yo-Yo Street says, Ordinukis. Yeah, I mean, Sam Sage does our
shout out to the Nookies.
We talk about Ordinukis every day in the song there. So,
oh yeah, that's right.
Kai Effect is here. Carlos, a GM. Yo-Yo Street put this comment in here. He said, you guys should stop with the hypotheticals, what will or what could happen. It's probably better if you had some charts to reference and look at the patterns or just talk about coming ordinal projects. So, Yo-Yo Street, we do an hour and a half show here, dude. So, there's not always that much ordinal stuff to talk about that's worth talking. And if you want to make your own channel, feel free to do so. Or go watch something else. Like, it's kind of pissed me off a little bit. But Pelpa is here. Ant-Man is here.
Real quick, let me talk about that, the hypotheticals. Yeah. So that's something that, I picked up from other chartists, because no one's going to be able to tell you exactly what's going to happen with the Bitcoin price. But yeah, so just wanted to kind of explain that part. I think it's always good for you to have multiple options of how it could go. Just so you can have that in the back of your mind as well. But yeah, so that's what we'll continue to do.
I'll hit on these guys again. We got Pelpa, Ant-Man, Nocturnal. This is a good one. He says, "Would you want me able to have favorite hookers in GTA VTC?" I don't know. Some of the RP servers in GTA are funny. Let's see. Anyone new? And just that's it. And then he says, don't get mad, just an opinion. Love you. Hey man, I'm just saying opinions are like
that's why I followed up with that, is because I knew that he wasn't trying to be like malicious with it. And
I know. So, I'm just messing with you. Just but put it out there. Like we do the show we want to put on. People always tell us what we should talk about and stuff, and we do this potentially for free. I mean, we definitely have aspects where we make money, but like we want to do a show that we want to do. So
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like this, right? We will take the opinions and consider them, like, and then we'll just
100%.
Move forward. So that's how it works, guys. But hey, that was an amazing roll call. 175 people in here. We are getting those numbers up, and let's jump into some of this Ordinal or Bitcoin ecosystem news.
Yep. We'll jump into this first. We got since we first heard about programmable runes less than 2 weeks ago, we've had multiple teams announce that they're working on DeFi like protocol for runes, and I want to get into a few here. So this is a tweet from Nair Thayer, and this is where I got this from, and he talks about proto runes. First teased by Elizabeth Duke, Isabel Fox Duke, as an anon team, quickly docks to separate themselves from programmable rune scams that pretended to be the team. This was the first we heard of programmable runes. And then we got my personal favorite, Rune State Machine, because I can invest in them, right? So RSM. And RSM, a white paper released and launched 40% pre-mined rune, quickly caught the attention of many traders who felt it was undervalued. Founder has also created BRC 100 protocol, which is still incomplete and in development. The third one is RuneStacks, by Vin. Its team and devs already have a working prototype for their own rune. They claim that multiple aspects of the platform will launch within months, first to offer any sort of timeline. And then we have question mark by the rune dev. Multiple sources have mentioned that this team is also working on programmable runes. However, nothing has been confirmed. Everything is speculation. Bonus here, we have programmable BRC20 by Domo Data. The BRC20 team has been working on programmable BRC20s for a while now. While the implementation is ways away, is expected to be ready before the runes platform. So they're saying the BRC20 programmables will be ready beforehand. And that's really it here. So we definitely have a lot of people kind of talking here about programmable runes. What's your opinion on this? And is this just the beginning?
Yeah, so I think that this idea of programmable runes has actually been spurred from the what the Layer 1 Foundation and Unisat's been building, honestly, if you want my honest opinion.
Yeah.
Because they're looking at it like this, look, we don't know when Opcat's going to come. We don't know, we got to figure out how we can build like an environment with the current tools we have and Bitcoin's current limitations. So I think they saw what they were building over on BRC20 and they said, okay, let's do our version of that for runes. And so I think that's this started all this, right? I think some of these people are, just trying to jump on the narrative. I think some of these people are probably really building, right? That's kind of how it always works. There's a mix of that. Excuse me. And it's exciting though, because it's a new approach of trying to build something like an ecosystem, basically forcing yourself to build something that scales with Bitcoin's limitations to match what the people are asking for, right? And so whenever you're like putting a bunch of gigabrains into like this competition to rush to see who gets there first, I think good things come out of that.
Yeah.
And so that's my perception on this. I think it's going to lead to some really great innovation on Bitcoin. And we've already seen quite a bit of good innovation. Some of it's been really slow and stuff like that, but there's been, like with DMT and bitmap and inscriptions, recursion, all that stuff has been really, really cool. But none of it has been able to satisfy the end user to what we want, and that's going to be at least on the fungible token side, right?
Yep, 100%. I agree with you. But this is kind of, for me, it's just like a wait and see thing. Everything seems to be months away, and when a dev usually says months, it means many months. If they say a few months, it means a lot more than few. So I'm curious to see what this is later. I'm hoping somebody has a breakthrough and we see something earlier, but this is definitely something potentially for the back end of the bull market for sure. Early next year would probably be what I'm thinking on this type of innovation. But this is still something definitely to look forward to. Like, having DeFi on Bitcoin has always been a dream of everyone's, right? Because Bitcoin is mother chain, and that's the reason why we're here. We're here to see kind of really what happens with Bitcoin and if we can scale. And with Opcat doesn't really do a lot other than really help bridge and stuff like that. So that could help them as well, because if you upgrade Bitcoin, you upgrade runes. Because then it makes runes are Bitcoin at the end of the day. Runes are just Satoshis running on a UTXO. So I think this is big. I'm excited for this this whatever they get here, and I feel like this is 5 of potentially 50 that we're going to see in the upcoming months.
Yeah. Yasher says, guys, can you explain what programmable runes are going to add to the runes protocol in general? So honestly, the way I view it is going to be similar to the BRC20 environment, to where it's going to be like another layer that needs to bridge these runes from Bitcoin's native layer 2, and you do stuff on there and then you can bridge out. So one of the people that are working on this is actually doing exactly that. So you're gonna have to bridge over, and then your runes becomes, I believe, a sub runes or something like that. And basically it's gonna be like that token in that environment. And actually, from what I heard from that initial plan, is that you can bridge in, you can't bridge out. And so that will allow you to do all these things in that environment, but you just won't be able to take it back to Bitcoin. But at the end of the day, like, why would you want to take it back to Bitcoin anyways, unless you want to trade via Magic Eden or these swap meet style, marketplaces. So they're running into probably some complications and stuff. Like, I'm not excited that I can't bridge back out. So I probably wouldn't want to use that, but someone else will figure out like another way to do both in and out, I would imagine.
Well, as long as you got some inflows, you can get some outflows, right? So if you bridge in and stuff like that, potentially you could create a bridge where it's like, it's not fully burned. It's just kind of how we're doing how Merlin kind of does the Bitcoin bridges, right? Some kind of locked in a multi-sig where they'll give you from that's already been burned, and then you can get out. So there will be ways to get in and out once, let's just say 20% of the supply is over there, right? So I think you'll be able to get out. It just won't be that exact rune that you send
in. What do you mean?
Like, let's just say, like, you do want to get out. You're done playing over there. And you want to get back to layer 1. Potentially take that to Merlin or something else. There will be a bridges created to where it's similar to a multi-sig, where it's just like you get you sell into here and then you get out.
So I mean, if that's a part of the plan,
anyone can make that. Anyone can make that. It's just having it on both sides and giving you what you need. There will be an incentive for someone to create that for fees.
Gotcha. I see what you're saying. So basically, like a third party, project creator or a dev will create
a bridge, maybe.
Because I mean, it'll be as long as it's permissionless, then there should be no problem.
Yeah. But I feel like, when you bridge over there their way, you're gonna be burning it and you won't be able to get it out. But there will be third parties that come along and will allow you to get out if you want to get out. It won't be, won't be able to get everything out potentially, but I think as long as there are inflows, there will be outflows.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's gonna be solutions for all that stuff for sure. 100%. Depending on what it really depends on what's being built and stuff like that. But yeah. All right. Let's get to the next thing here.
All right, here. Sorry. Okay, here it is. Blockstream. Is OpCat happening? So if you don't know Blockstream is Adam Back. Adam Back is one of the 3 people I think Satoshi is. I think Satoshi is Adam Back, Nick Szabo, and Hal Finney. With Adam Back, he created this company called Blockstream. They're Bitcoin focused. They have a side chain. They have something that no one really talks about. So they have their own version of Lightning. It's called Liquid. It's not utilized at all. I've used it once to just try it out, and it wasn't a smooth experience for me, but it wasn't bad. I used their green wallet. They have a green wallet, and it's connected to their I think you use it as well for your hardware wallet. So it's connected to that hardware wallet as well, but you can use Liquid in that wallet. But anyway, so my saying that is he's just a hardcore Bitcoiner, right? He's not an ordinal guy whatsoever, but he's sitting here talking about OpCat, and this is from his company. And is OpCat happening? The proposal has recently assigned a BIP number, and now it's up to a community to decide. So they definitely put out an article here. It's scratching the surface. Let me bring up my screen here. Scratching the surface. Bitcoin scripts and limitations. So a really, really amazing article. It kind of explains what OpCat is and how it works and everything here. But this is something that the maxis read. This is an article that isn't directed to us. It's directed to other maxis. So this is, to me, this is Adam Back and Blockstream gearing up for OpCat. And OpCat would benefit Liquid as well. It's not just going to benefit ordinals and other stuff, but it benefits Lightning Network. It benefits Stacks. It benefits Liquid. It benefits everything. So this is Adam Back now. Obviously he didn't write this directly, but he definitely has someone on the team do this. But they're educating the maxis on why OpCat is good for Bitcoin, and I thought that was definitely something to bring up and talk about. I think that's huge, especially after Bob Bodley's conversation with us last week, who really broke down everything that I said that could go wrong, and he said that none of that is it's already been kind of figured out.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's gonna benefit his version of Lightning, or else he wouldn't be pushing it. But at the end of the day, like I feel like everybody's ecosystem is pushing it now, right? Because of the benefits it would bring. You said that you had a bad experience with it. Did your Bitcoin get stuck in a channel for a while? Is that why?
Yeah. So what happened was I was trying to figure out because I locked myself out of my wallet, right? Well, because I had a passphrase, but I forgot about the passphrase, and I couldn't figure out how to do it. And then so what happened was, so I went in and I converted it to Liquid, so it got stuck in Liquid as well. But so it was over there, and then I had to wait I think it was like a bunch of blocks to get it out of Liquid to get it back. So it was a tough learning experience, but I definitely learned how to use Liquid, which was pretty cool because Liquid it offers staking, it offers a lot of different stuff that Lightning Network doesn't. It's Adam Back's been developing this technology for a while, and I could be wrong about this, but this is just from my experience of me having to read up on it to try and figure out how to get my Bitcoin, because it was a significant amount of Bitcoin out of Liquid and back into layer 1. So yeah, so my bad experience was just from me just not being educated on it and not really understanding how it works and even what the hell it was. Because in the beginning I was like, where did it go? And then I had to go to the Liquid and I saw it there, and then I figured it out from there. So and then I had other problems. But yeah, it was definitely a good learning experience. But I definitely learned how to bridge in the Liquid and bridge out of Liquid. So.
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest complaints about Lightning. Whenever you use channels, is that sometimes your Bitcoin or whatever, your Bitcoin could get stuck in a channel for 3 days, and I just think that's not okay. To have that locked away for 3 days, and so maybe Opcat will actually solve that pain point, because that's a pretty big pain point, and it makes me realize why Lightning hasn't been adopted by Bitcoiners or even people that want to do stuff on Bitcoin or try to scale it or anything like that. So if Opcat solves that issue, then we could be hearing a lot of developments on Lightning or those type of Lightning forks and stuff like that.
You might see something like Liquid become a ZK rollup, which will allow to do smart contracts and stuff like that through a secondary layer. I mean, this is it. To my whole point here, Opcat doesn't just benefit us; it benefits the entire ecosystem, and that being the maxis as well, which kind of gives the maxis more reason to push it through, which kind of lets us want to play our games a little bit stronger with potentially being a ZK rollup and having actual layer 2s and not just side chains.
Yep. So my question to you, if you had to bet all your Bitcoin, you're forced to, if Opcat is going to be added to Core by the end of December, yes or no?
Still going to say no for December, just because I watched Taproot, and Taproot, it just took forever to get pushed, right? So not only does it have to get accepted, it has to get basically pushed into implement it, has to get pushed into L1 first and then put out, and they're not gonna allow people to use it unless it's perfect. And I think that's the right thing to do, because if something does happen, you don't want that to be on the Bitcoin layer. You want that to be in a testnet layer. So I don't think that it's going to be implemented this year, but I do think it happens in this bull run. I think it does happen before the next halving.
Interesting.
So, all right, jump in here now. This is something from Atomicals. Finally, something, some news or something from something. An important upgrade.
Something.
Something from Atomicals. I want to talk about Atomicals, right? I don't hate it, and everyone thinks I do. I want it to be successful. I want everything in this ecosystem to be successful, but there's no builders. I mean, besides the head of there's no one really building anything. And if they are, they're doing it in crazy silence, to where they're not even tweeting about it. But yeah, so what can you tell us about this, and why is it important?
Yeah, so I saw a post by this individual. I think it goes by Medici, I believe, or Medci. But yeah, so this was really good information. So this upgrade actually happened on the 18th, so close to the middle of last month. But so the important upgrade, partial coloring was deployed on Atomicals block height 847,000, 18th of June. So we heard about this coming, right? There's obviously a pain point. that for people to be able to split their ARC20s and stuff. So that it says this upgrade unlocked the transfer of token quantities less than the Satoshi dust limit. The dust limit of 546 Satoshis restricts transfers of small quantities due to the economical implication of transaction costs outweighing the amount that's going to be split. So it says ARC20 introduced a substantiation factor, allowing to convert tokens backing ratio from 1-to-1. So it used to be 1 Satoshi per 1 ARC20 to 1 to 10 and 1 to 100 as well, etc. So for example, converting an asset to a ratio of 1 to 10 ratio requires 10 Satoshis for each token unit. So now if you have that ratio, 10 sats equals 1 atom, whatever your token name is, right? This allows token transfers involving less than 546 units, bypassing the dust limit on BTC. It was also mentioned that partial coloring technique is still planned to be implemented using contract capabilities rather than directly adding rules to the indexer. Introducing this upgrade lowers the barrier to entry for ARC20s, allowing for splitting and aiding new smaller participants to stream capital into the ARC20 ecosystem. So yes, I think this is a good update, right? But I don't think did rooms already come with that, because I don't remember being able to split ARC20s. Did we have the ability to do that?
I think yes, you did, but you couldn't split them under the sat limit. And I don't think that's an issue for runes.
Gotcha.
Well, I don't know how Casey solved that. But
I remember like they did an upgrade with ARC20s at one point to where you could send less than the amount, the mintable amount that was the standard mintable amount, right? And so that was a help, but it's basically I'm sending to myself like 500 atoms, then I'll send myself 5 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But I guess this allows you just to kind of do a split instead. Also, the ratio of whenever you deploy these tokens, I think, is important with this upgrade. But again, who's used what, like how much volume is happening with ARC20s? Like who's using it right now? Will we see a resurgence? I do think we will. How big will that be? I'm not sure. But I think it's going to be like when things are like really, really crazy, because, when people are fighting for liquidity in slower times, like right now, the lower volume meta protocols ecosystems are not going to really benefit at all.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you're right. I haven't seen that problem. I guess Casey figured that out. Maybe they're just using kind of Casey's way of doing it. I don't know, but I know you can split runes down pretty low. So, all right, jump in here. Track validator license pre-sale. Secure one of the first 300, and we've already we hold a good amount of track here, so we're trying to get into this pre-sale. But I'll actually show you guys the requirements and all that. So this is the article here, and if you guys want to go see it, just go to Track's their Twitter page, and you'll find it pretty quickly. But the track validator license pre-sale. This article covers the track validator license pre-sale that goes live in July 14th. So just giving you guys a quick overview. You guys can go back and read this for yourself. But so the pre-sale website will be added here after the snapshot, and we'll be implementing a priority system in the whitelisting address. So if you hold track, -tap, pipe, and gib, you will potentially be put into a lottery system, which would allow that wallet to be whitelisted. So you're able to be a part of the first round of the validators. There's only that's the one where you pay 300. So every round it's going to be more and more expensive for it. So you have to pay track to get them, right? So after the snapshot, we will attribute a weighting score. So the more track, pipe, -tap, and gib you have in that certain wallet, the more likely you are to be able to be eligible for this pre-sale. So definitely want to be a part of this if you can. If you have substantial amounts of track or ghosty or was ghosty in here? No,
I didn't
-tap.
see ghosty.
Pipe, and Gib. So these are the early native track assets. So if you hold a substantial amount of these, you potentially can be in it. So, and then all you need to do, you will have to do one more step. So just because you own these doesn't mean you're already eligible. You will need to go and click here and fill out this form. And this is the form right here. You just need your email and your wallet address, like I did already. So, but coming back to here, so basically that snapshot is July 7th. And then the raffle will be July 13th. And the raffle being, so basically the more you hold, the more, let's just say, more balls you get in the lottery. So if you have, 50,000 track, you'll have a substantial amount of balls picked. But it still doesn't mean that you're going to be picked for the sale. So it's really, it's up in the air, but you'll have better chances than somebody with, let's just say 1,000 track. So then the raffle is July 13th, and the pre-sale will be begins the 14th of July, 11 a.m. So UTC, which is I think like 7 a.m. ETC. I think it's 6 hours behind. So I think that might be even like 4 o'clock in the morning, honestly. But yeah. So make sure you register and then be part of this, because I think this is going to be something that's really big, especially if you can get a validator for 300 track, because eventually it goes all the way up to 10,000 track. So there might be someone who comes in later who wants a validator. They might be paying, what's that? 20, 30 times more than you did. So if you are eligible, it's probably smart to grab one. I know we'll be grabbing as many as we possibly can, up to a certain amount of track, of course. But
yeah. I actually really like this, and this is what I think Benny and his team were talking about minus. He has a plan for minus tap. He has a plan for Gib, stuff like that, right? And I love the ramping up of the price to these validators, right?
Yeah.
I've seen. I know people that are getting like purchasing nodes and stuff in other like Ethereum environments and stuff. So this is very similar to me, right? And so. It's going to be interesting to see how valuable these get, because I think potentially you could be able to sell these as well, right, to other people that are interested. But yeah, so I love this whole setup. I love how much it ramps up in terms of cost, because it does allow the community members to really purchase cheap. And that's kind of like the affordable like ratio too, right, for the average community member probably. So I love it.
Yeah, and I gotta remember too is they said in a previous article 15% APY on these. You get, so let's just say you buy it for 300, but someone goes and buys it for a 10,000 track. Potentially, you're getting the APY on the 10,000 track, right? So it could be very substantial to get in this. And not only will you be getting tracked, there's rumors, I've heard behind the scenes that you'll be getting the launch punk token, you'll be getting the Foxy token, and any other team that's building potentially would be, that's how they airdrop. They'll airdrop to validators. So potentially you're going to get many airdrops in the future, which I think is smart. It's like you're basically staked in a different way. So if you're able to get as many of these validators as possible, I think this is just really amazing. And I'm excited for it. I'm trying to get, this is my way or our way of getting as much tap as we can.
Yep. I'm excited, man. I think tap, well, we're going to see if this mechanism propels tap's price too, because I think that's the whole plan, as well as people benefiting from purchasing these validators, so it's like a win-win situation, or that's the goal, it seems to be.
100% here. There's a few charts that I forgot to show earlier. I just want to show real quick while we're waiting for Abdul. So this is the one chart here. So this is the 4-year cycle chart, and it's pretty much in line with everything else we've seen. So we're basically, the box, right? The box, and we are just outside the box. And what normally happens is you can see, over here is up. We did have that COVID dip here, but then over here, and then up from there. So potentially we could see, now we're exiting this box here. We could see potentially up from here. So there's another chart, and then where's another one as well. I think this is it. And I showed that one, but yeah. All right. I did have the ghosty update, but I think I might have lost it. I want to cover updates for that.
Well, I mean, there's only so much that we can talk about with that, right? So, but the one thing that we can talk about is that from what we're hearing, did they put that in there as well?
Yeah. Well, no. So let me just read you what's in here first.
Okay.
Tap integration completed. Tap protocol successfully switched, which basically means their BRC20 is now tap token. Phase 2 released. Phase released. Phase 3 will be released soon. Tap will be listed on the market. Ghosty staking system is approaching, and when it arrives, I expect the price to be around $5. They're saying here, so it's pretty insane. This is from Doc Closet. Yeah, so I don't know. He's saying that, you know, when a staking comes, and you got to remember, you're gonna be able to stake your ghosty eventually. When after you stake your ghosty, a lot of it's going to get locked up, and potentially you're going to be earning, I don't know, maybe their L2 token, which is spooky and stuff like that. So we'll see. But this could be monstrous. Obviously, we need more information because you don't know what the earning you're going to get. But we do know from staking the track and the validators, you're earning over there. You're going to earn the tap token. So. But we did have a conversation with Ghosty. We can kind of get into a little bit. Can we get into a little bit, or you just want to?
Yeah, I mean, well, the one thing I'll just say is that be ready for on-chain swaps because they're very, very close to that. And time should be scaled to about 5 minutes per swap. So that's the information we're able to release to you guys. So that to me, that's super exciting. It's on-chain. It's fully decentralized the way that they're doing it. So just be excited about that because I am.
Yeah, 100%. Last bit of news here before we get to Traverse Security Wednesdays. The Tap Wallet Explorer, the #1 Tap marketplace. Well, they're saying the Tap marketplace is coming, and you are not ready. So these guys are building another group of builders, building a secondary marketplace. So we know TapX is building a marketplace. We know the Tap Wallet, and then we know the Tap protocol itself building a marketplace. So there's going to be a lot of competition rolling with these marketplaces, and I'm just excited for it because I remember once it feels like forever now, but I was begging for infrastructure, whether that be a wallet or a marketplace, and now we're getting them from many different sources. So this is I'm just glad innovation is happening for Tap.
100%. But I wouldn't just yet call them a secondary marketplace because the competition's wide open, right? So we'll see.
For sure.
We'll see
when Benny's building it or Benny's people is building it rather than guys outside looking in, it's a little different, right?
If you're going to be putting some betting odds for sure, 100%, I agree with you.
Yeah. But you are right. You will vote with your mouse and your keyboard, and to see which is a top. So it isn't fair to them to say that they're secondary. You're right.
Yeah.
Good call.
But the great thing is, I think we have 3 coming that are going to be dedicated to Tap alone. Yep. You got 2 wallets, possibly 3 wallets, because I think the Tap team is building a wallet too. I'm not sure.
Yep.
But 3 wallets dedicated to the Tap ecosystem. Guys, these are indicators from our past experience, knowing that when an ecosystem has multiple of those infrastructure items or products, that's a big green light, in my opinion, that says, okay, and it's not financial advice, but I could be wrong about that. But when you have multiple infrastructure competitions, that's a good sign. I'll just say that.
Yep. All right, guys, it's Wednesday, so you know what that means. It's Security Wednesdays brought to you by Traverse Labs. Traverse Labs is the leading solution for protecting your assets. They use this vault technology that is it's open source code, and they're not holding it for you. It's 100%. What's that word I'm looking for?
Permissionless.
And they're not custodians. They're not custodying your stuff. You are self-hosting this vault, and you get the address, you can send in and out, and it's permissionless and all that. So what Traverse is something very needed. We obviously here we don't have hardware wallets, so I mean that can be safely used. So this is something, if you are having trouble sleeping at night, if you are worried about getting hacked, if you feel like something's weird happening with your computer, or let's just say you're on vacation and just in case your your laptop gets stolen. Traverse is that solution. You just got to go to traverselabs.io. You can open a vault pretty easy. You use MFA, two-factor technology. So you'll use a Google Authenticator, and you'll also use an email. So in order to send anything out, and we're going to actually show you guys today how exactly to send these assets out, as long as there's no update from from the server. But we're going to show you how easy it is to send out today. And we have Abdul on today. So let's bring him in right now. Abdul, welcome back to Ordinal Revolution.
Hey guys, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here, man. Every Wednesday, man, you are, definitely committed to Traverse and everything you guys are building over there to be here with us every single Wednesday. We appreciate that from you, my friend.
Yeah, and I appreciate you guys for having us and talking Traverse with us as well.
Yep. So,
100%.
anything new from you guys, or do you have anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, in terms of in terms of updates and some exciting partnerships and integrations, unfortunately, I will not be able to discuss them in details. What I can say is that we're building, and there's a lot of partnerships that are happening with Traverse. And most recently, we've been getting our utility token, the Traverse Tab token, whitelist opportunities from various different DMT projects. So we've been positioning ourselves there as well, and networking with a lot of these different project founders. And eventually as well, you can right now, actually, after you mint out a DMT project, you can actually vault it with Traverse, and you can make sure your asset is always secure and recoverable as well, since we support DMT and TAP as well.
Oh, wow. So I can do I've been on a spree. I've been buying up these M crowns. Just don't tell anybody. But I bought like 7 or 8 over the last couple days, and I would love to pop them in. They're long-term holds for me, because I think getting whitelist eligibility is something that a lot of people are going to crave. So that's why I saw an opportunity, especially being $80. I was like, let me at least put $1,000 into these things. So that's awesome that I'll be able to lock them up in Traverse.
For the whitelist opportunities, it's something anyone who uses Traverse has to remember, is that Traverse itself, the wallet address and the wallets that you create through Traverse, you're unable to sign any DApps with them. So when it comes to certain whitelist opportunities that give you actual time for the snapshot date, we would highly recommend just unvaulting or withdrawing that asset from your Traverse vault, putting it into a hot wallet that you actually want to use to mint a certain collection. And then after you're done with that mint, after the snapshot has been completed, just transfer that asset back to your vault to keep it secure with Traverse. But just one thing to note.
100%. That's the best thing about the crowns, is they just check to see if it's in your wallet, right? So you can, whenever you're ready, you can pop it back out or pop one. And I noticed that, having a bunch doesn't give me, give me more whitelists. It just makes sure you have the one. So potentially you're gonna want these in a whole bunch of wallets anyway, or you can potentially in and out. I'm not really sure if that is something you could do to get more whitelists as well, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't believe they're like stacking whitelists right now for some of these projects. Yeah, I don't believe so.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I don't know what the time range would be for the snapshot too, so that would be really tricky. You might miss it if you try to move it around. But anyways, one thing I want to get into before Shizzy shares the screen and shows the example is I saw a post from the Taproot Wizards talking about how you can actually create like security vaults once OpCat is added to Bitcoin Core. And I actually saw you guys respond pretty quickly and saying, hey, this is something we already do. We use an MFA route for verification and stuff like that. Could you kind of go into an explanation of how you guys are already doing this in a sense, and then also how you guys can benefit from OpCat as well, if you wouldn't mind?
Sure. So I'm not the dev, just to be clear. My partner Kareem is, and I don't have the technical expertise that he might have and other developers do. And just to start it off here, when it comes to like what OpCat is doing with the Bitcoin vaults and what the Taproot community, Taproot Wizards community, and the Quantum Cats community are really excited about, is the potential for OpCat to introduce Bitcoin vaults, pretty much very, very similar to Traverse, with the same exact goal, which is to secure your assets and make sure they're recoverable, even if your private key is exploited or compromised. They gave the example of someone digging into your backyard where you actually stored your private key there, and then they would be able to take that private key, import it to a wallet, but they wouldn't be able to actually withdraw your assets that are in your Bitcoin vault. And this is exactly the same kind of description and the same value that Traverse provides for you and your assets. What they're specifically doing is three methods. So 3 different examples of functionalities that they mentioned that Opcat could enable. The first one is asset withdrawal timing. What that means is that if, for example, someone has your private key, you actually are going to receive a notification that there is a transaction that has been processed or that has been initiated, and someone is attempting to transfer some of your assets. So there's going to be a delay in the transfer of the assets where you would actually be able to reject that transfer if you decide to do so. So that's number 1 functionality they're talking about. Number 2 is the standard treasury multisig. So they're talking about enabling various different multi-sig wallet addresses that you will be able to withdraw the assets from your Bitcoin vault as well. And this is something Traverse can do even without Opcat, just to be clear, and something that we do have in our vision, and something that we could possibly be working on very soon as well. And the last topic that they also mentioned was the block time withdrawals. And what that means is essentially after a certain period of time or after a certain block height has been reached, then your assets would actually be automatically unlocked and, for example, transferred to a certain wallet address if you desire. And all of this, by the way, like anything that Opcat enables, just to be clear, Traverse can enable one and if Opcat does come into existence. And we'll be on top of it, and we'll have, I want to say we would have an advantage because we already have Bitcoin vaults that are live and do the same exact thing, which is secure your assets even if your private key was compromised.
Interesting.
Yeah,
you guys are definitely
that.
a step ahead of them. Yeah. My God.
Yeah, and just dealing with it for the past really, almost a year, developing this whole system, you definitely have a head start there. And so basically, what you guys would do is utilize Opcat just to further optimize what you've already been able to do, which is what they're trying to accomplish. So, like Shizzy said, you guys already have a head start there. So that's really, really awesome. You talked a little bit about some other product offerings that you guys might have in the future. Is that still kind of tight-lipped right now, or is there something that you can talk a little bit about?
We can give an overview of what I am able to talk about, and it's because I don't want the team to
come after you.
not be very happy with me, especially with some of the things that I could be able to discuss. So you can expect, treasury multisig. I think it is something that we can definitely do, and it's something that honestly just makes perfect sense for Traverse. We also mentioned multi-chain. So that's what we are working towards, a multi-chain vision where you're able to secure all of your assets regardless of what chain they are on. And last thing I'm going to reiterate here again is the passkeys. So that way, instead of having to use your MFA codes, which is your email and authenticator, you'll be given an option for passkeys, which could be your browser session, it could be your fingerprint, could be your Face ID, could be your passkey device. So it's completely up to you how you utilize the passkeys that Traverse would offer as well.
Yeah, the passkeys seem to be very popular. I use MEXC, and MEXC just enabled that as well. You're able to scan your face now. So it's definitely getting more and more common. And I'm glad you guys are definitely definitely getting in with the newer technology. So that's really smart. But because potentially you guys could be an app on the phone as well. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's how you're working on, but down the line, I mean that's that would be perfect, kind of like how I do with MEXC right now. And you guys right now you guys are doing a lot of B2 person, right? So but eventually I see you guys being more of a B2B, and I think that's where you guys are going to be really shine. And I think that's where if you are building a business and you are someone out there who could use this Traverse technology, reach out to you guys, right? That's something that definitely you guys are considering doing.
Yeah, we're on Telegram, we're on Discord. You want to reach out to us on X, I mean, you can reach out to us in every single avenue that you want, and we'll make sure to respond. Would love to work with anyone who's interested to either work with Traverse or work with the TAP and the wider, obviously, DMT ecosystem as well. Would be available to help.
I think whenever the product offering just opens up to both, it's amazing, right? Because at that point, then you just have so much more product solution type of things. And so I would say probably, maybe look for some integration type stuff. We'll see if that's something that you guys are going to be doing. But thank you for getting into that with us. So Shizzy, you want to go ahead and share your screen and show everybody how to work Traverse?
Yeah, man. So I'm going over right now. I'm going over to traverselabs.io. Make sure it's traverselabs.io. There isn't no fakers yet, but I'm sure as you guys get bigger, there will be. So guys, make sure that you guys start it up here so that you guys can save it in there. So that's one thing that I always recommend doing when you make sure that you have a newer site. So, and the next thing I want to do here is go to launch app, and I already have a wallet, so I'm going to log in. It's going to bring my wallet up. I'm going to hit sign in, and it's going to bring me to my dashboard, and I'm going to go to my vaults. And you can see I have a bunch of vaults here. I can see I have the one that I made for Hide from Wife. And then, I got my Runestone vault and collectors and ordinals. But the vault we're using today is Shizzy's vault. I'm going to go into Shizzy's vault, and then you should see my assets pop up here. And yes, they do. This is my Ordinal Revolution pass. But you see here that I have some Bitcoin here. This is the most important part about withdrawing your assets. You will have to take this right here, and you have to send some Bitcoin to here. And that is how you can transfer it out. And it's kind of another security feature that if, somehow, some way, someone ever got in here, they'll have to transfer Bitcoin in here first. If somebody got, if your wife was trying to get your stuff, she would have to send Bitcoin here first, then you can get home from work quick and stop her from doing so. No, I'm just kidding. But you would definitely need
she must be watching every video. She knows how to
Hey, dude, let's just say if it was the other way around, it was my wife doing this stuff and I wasn't, I'd be paying attention. I'm just saying, right? But so 001 here. So this is going to allow me to send out. So it's pretty easy. I'm just going to click my asset here, and I'm going to hit unfreeze. And what it's going to bring me to here, I'm just going to put in the address that I want to send it to, and I'm going to go to another wallet, and I'm going to go grab my wallet. So
you can input any recipient address you want. So it's not necessarily associated with the wallet that you created your vaults with Traverse through. It doesn't.
Yep.
We're not doing that at this stage. It is an option that could be added down the line for added security. Yep. If there's enough demand for it, we can definitely look into implementing it as well, restricting like the withdrawals for certain addresses.
Yep, 100%. So I'm going to send it to a different wallet that does not have any attachment with this. As you can see here, I'm using my Unisat. So this is a different address than the one I'm using here. So you don't have to send it to this one. You can send it to anywhere you want. This is kind of like its own little thing here. So you will hit confirm, and that's going to bring here. And obviously, I'll go normal. Because the normal and the custom is pretty high from each other right now. So I'm initiate, and then this is the most important part of it, guys. This is where you're going to get your MFA, right? Your email and your authenticator. So I'm going to hit do I hit verify here, or do I just go get my code?
You have to go get it.
Yeah, try to click verify and see what happens, even without the code. Okay. I mean, you can
something
see
went wrong.
It's not going to work. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to get my code here. Make sure it's the right one.
And this is like the main point of differentiation here, where whenever you want to make a withdrawal with Traverse, you input your MFA codes and soon passkeys as an alternative in order to make sure the withdrawal is actually processed. Otherwise, it won't go through and it will fail. So that's the primary security benefit that we offer.
All right, so I have here, 880055.
Yeah. So this is one of the, obviously this is the strength of the Traverse mechanism here, which, you won't get a notification that anyone's trying to move anything out of your wallet because no one will be able to break through this. That's the whole point.
Exactly. We're adding extra layers of failure in addition to your private key potentially being compromised, because the highest point of compromise for your assets is your private key getting compromised. So even if someone has your seed phrase, they logged onto the Traverse D app, they're actually unable to withdraw your assets because they would still need your MFA codes, and you're the only person who has those codes through your email and through your authenticator.
All right.
Well, I think Shizzy has his codes.
Yeah. Well, the problem is I'm not getting the email. So
Oh, maybe you have to send off for it.
Yeah, is there a way to do so? I know I did it before.
Hit that X button real quick.
Yeah, hit the X and redo the process if you can.
Okay. Yep.
Because I just tried it as well before I got on the show, and I did get the codes. I did get the email codes.
Well, that's one thing that you have to make sure is you're using the right email. So
yeah, the correct email.
Check here real quick. Go to this one.
Unless there's a
I might just be an idiot
currently.
Yeah. Well, that's basically how I do it. I think this is a user error for me. I'm not sure what email I use.
A user error.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But still pretty simple how to use it. It's just your email will come to you when you make sure that you're using the right email and the authentic code as well. Then you'll be able to send that out of there for sure. So, but simple and easy. It's a very simple process once you remember what email you're using.
I just checked on my end, and I am getting the email. So I'm not. I think it's just Shizzy.
It could be. I'm using Yahoo for this one, so it's better to use Gmail. Probably. But
Yahoo's
it could be a Yahoo
been sunsetted, bro.
Yeah,
Yahoo's been sunsetted since 1999.
Sometimes like with any traverse email that you can get, it's very much similar to other emails where it could end up in the spam, could end up in the junk folder as well, or even you accidentally moved it to the trash folder, or you just drafted it. So just keep that in mind whenever you're checking through with your email code as well. And we're available to help anyone. So if you have any issues with any type of withdrawals with Traverse that come from your email, we're available to help you, and we'll definitely solve the solution for you as well. We'll provide you with one.
Yeah. Also, if you guys are trying it out right now and you're not getting an email, let us know, because it could be just a delay or some situation or something like that. So just let us know. But yeah, we've a lot of our community members, Yasher, Mr. Sheedy, I Walk Alone, they all use Traverse religiously, and so.
I use it all the time too. I honestly think it just might be a Yahoo problem right now, honestly. So, but yeah, you use Gmail. Gmail seems to be the best source. Because I tried it on another one here, and my Gmail, and it worked fine. But yeah, so
there was 2 parts of that MFA, right? So what's the second part though? The second part is the QR code, right?
Yeah, the QR code. Yep. But so you just go to your Google Authenticator, and you can pop that in pretty easily. So.
Yeah, so you just go to the Authenticator, you just paste it in, and then you'll have your code from your email, and then that's how you are able to send that out. So, with that being said, it's MFA is getting more and more popular, and I think that, this is my opinion. I think that even like these solutions, even though they're Web3, we're gonna start to see a little bit of hybrid stuff starting to happen. Like, it makes sense to use like MFA for security integrated into Web3 solutions. It was so focused last cycle on decentralize this, decentralize that, or all these things. Now, of course, you want to stick to the fundamental part of like, I own my security stuff. Yeah, I'm the one that controls my security vault. No one else controls that. But I actually would rather have MFA as a security layer than anything else, because no one's going to be able to break through that.
MFA is like one of the highest and most secure methods you can actually use as well. So it is typically very, very secure. So awesome. I just double checked as well with another vault, and I did receive the email. It could be Yahoo problem. I'll make sure
server problem.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll make sure to check back after this call. The thing is, we were telling Shizzy and Yagobi as well. So just talking up and opening up with the audience. There's a lot of developer restraints right now, especially when it comes to like the wider ecosystems, the wider developments that is actually occurring on the ordinals, and at the same time, just to the typical resource complaints that accompany it as well. So there could be, sometimes there could be a bit of delay on the development. Sometimes the timeline isn't necessarily 100% going to be accurate, even though we try to give proper estimates. It's just how the situation is right now. But yeah, I mean, we're moving towards our goal pretty smoothly, is what I want to say.
And that's everybody, honestly. I mean, you know, Tap, Merlin, you know, every ecosystem right now is just, you know, they're trying to make sure that the product is polished perfectly, you know, before it's being delivered. And I know that can be frustrating, but you want a polished product. You don't want something that's going to be halfway there. So,
yep.
We got some questions. Go ahead.
Yep. I want to get a quick statement here. Yasher goes, after you click it and this pop-up opens, you receive the email. And so he did it this morning, so he got his. But he said it's better to use Gmail. Gmail is just a better email service, so for sure.
Yeah.
It is better than Yahoo, and it certainly is better than Hotmail, just to be clear.
I like a lie. I still have my old Hotmail email address, but I never use it.
We have had some users sign up with a Hotmail email as well. So
Gotcha.
It's just something we have to be conscious of.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got some questions directly related to Traverse, so let's get to those if you're okay. First, Mr. CD says Traverse Vault is easy peasy for sure. Moved stuff in and out yesterday. Yeah. So he's one of your most volume users, I'm sure, of the vault here. But he has a question that says, any updates on being able to see other assets inside the vault? For example, would like to be able to see bitmaps.
Yeah, so Best in Slot actually just updated their API, and we're checking their update to see whether there's anything related to bitmaps that we could enable as soon as possible. And the same thing applies to some recursive inscriptions and BRC420s. So all of the assets that you see, Mr. Shidi, and any other person who's concerned about being able to properly see their assets, just like you would see it in Magic Eden or the images associated with them. This is all based on the API polling that Traverse uses. So the back end is really proper. There's functionality there that's completely enabled to support all types of assets. It's the front end that matters here when it comes to actually being able to view your assets and being able to view it just like you would see it in Magic Eden. So we'll double check with our API providers and make sure that there's a path for bitmaps, and we'll make sure to implement it as soon as possible as well.
100%. And, you know, your inscription will always be there, just like the Ordinal Revolution pass. You saw it's the JSON text there. It's just the propagation of the image is where it just needs to be upgraded by the indexer. So we'll see what happens.
You're just sending it to like another wallet address, right? So whenever you create a vault with Traverse, it has a Taproot address. Taproots support all types of Bitcoin assets, and that's what you're essentially doing. It's just that the way you're able to view it on the front end is different based on the APIs that we utilize. And right now, the one that we utilize is Best in Slot, and hopefully their new update will allow us to actually visualize the bitmaps in your vault for you to view.
Yep. All right. Yasher has a question for you. He says, does your service and application does it operate everywhere, including China and Russia as well?
We do not block IP addresses.
Okay. So yes, global. Yeah, they don't block IP addresses. So take that how you will, meaning that it's open to everybody.
Traverse is registered and based in the US, but we do not block IP addresses.
Yep. And I'm technically in Switzerland right now, and it worked perfectly for me. So.
All right. I'll Walk Alone follows up here. It says, good morning, Abdul. Any updates for rune support on Traverse? That's a big question.
It is a pretty good question. I want to say you can probably expect it within the next few weeks.
Okay. So expectation, next few weeks, guys. Obviously, give some buffer time in there just because, you know, a lot of things are going on right now. I do know that you've mentioned in our private meetings that this is a priority for you guys. So in terms of rune support.
It is definitely like one of the things that we have in our development pipeline. But what matters as well is whenever you have like developer constraints, you're dedicating a certain amount of time and hours towards applications that you think will help propel Traverse for our users and for our integrations. And that's what we have been dedicating a lot of time to, which is planning integrations and making sure that our partner projects will be able to actually have Traverse integrated within their applications and view them properly as well. So that's where most of our time has been spent in the last few weeks and probably the last 2 months as well.
Yep. All right. Yasser has another question here. It says, do you have any plans for the Traverse token and basically plans for utility with it?
Yes. Yeah, 100%. So right now, the most common, I guess, type of utility you might expect that you have been probably seeing the past few weeks is utility when it comes to whitelist opportunities and free mints. So we got everywhere from pretty much DMT Ninja, DMT Snow, BTC Vessels, Bitmap Emporium. We're quite heavy into the DMT and the TAP ecosystem, so you can expect whitelist opportunities from there. And at the same time, when it comes to actually using the Traverse token within the ecosystem, it will have utility. And the primary utility will be from reduced fees from the marketplace index, which you're unable to access right now. So you can view on the dashboard, you're able to see that they're actually locked right now. And at the same time, any future fees that Traverse could implement in the form of withdrawal fees or vault recovery fees, which would be a percentage of the network fees, just like something like MetaMask or other wallets essentially do. If you hold Traverse tokens, you will get the fees reduced. So yes, utility is definitely key for us. It's in the horizon, and there is a chance as well the Traverse token. Well, there's no chance it will play a role within partner ecosystem projects as well, is what I can say.
Yeah. Well, in governance, I'm sure that's crossed y'all's minds, and there's going to be all types of staking, functionalities and that we know about already that are coming to Bitcoin Layer 1. So that should be interesting how that could be integrated as well.
And potentially some LP pools if Track is building what we think they're building, right? Some potential swaps down the line. So that's always something that's always. That's what I personally like to do. I like to do very high risk asset with high risk asset and an LP pool, and that way they kind of move together. So
yeah.
Did you have a chance to read up on the validator? Did you have a chance to read up on the validator licenses? The article.
Yes, we covered.
I believe it was early.
We covered it today.
Yeah, we covered that today. Kind of lightly, just basically, who qualifies for the raffle. I really like their approach to it. Rewarding those early holders of those tokens, right? So it's going to be very, very interesting how that plays out. But I think the biggest thing is a lot of you builders in that community talk to each other a lot, right? Especially the utility ones, right? And so I expect to see a lot of like cross partnerships and integrations and working together and stuff like that, which will make the TAP ecosystem even more, like, give it more strength, right? So it's going to be exciting to see when this stuff gets rolled out.
One of the goals that I think the TAP ecosystem is building towards, and really I think is differentiated by, is just a collaborative atmosphere and collaborative ecosystem of builders. Honestly, people just want to help each other in the space. They want to help people with the developments. any questions that people have, will definitely support each other as well, which is really different than something like. And obviously, I don't want to speculate. I don't want to be jabbing different protocols and ecosystems. It is different than something like Runes, because Runes is just a product of existing liquidity. A token goes up, another token kind of has to go down because the liquidity is being extracted from that token to the new one. And that's essentially just how it is. It's very different within the TAP ecosystem, in my opinion, and from what I've been seeing the past few months.
Yeah. I mean, zero-sum game is obviously something that it's in a lot of like investments, right? Investing ecosystems, right? So it's like whenever the bull market's on fire or like going nuts, that's whenever people don't worry about it as much because there's more liquidity. But you're absolutely right with that. So
yeah, definitely PvP right now for sure. You saw that happen with Bank. You saw like Bank really dropping, but then you saw stuff like RSM really take a lot of that liquidity. But you're right, it was the same liquidity going from one asset to the other.
Yeah, and I think something like TAP's ecosystem will attract new users from outside of this area, right? Because the marketing approach with TAP is different than any other meta protocol, in my opinion. They're utilizing a vast network of people that have reach. Let's be honest. But yeah, so we shall see. I think it's gonna be exciting times for everybody whenever that ecosystem starts to really rev up. But Reziak has a question for you. It says, why Traverse rather than Ledger? This is a great question because probably common thought, right? So could you answer that? Why Traverse rather than Ledger?
Sure, I would love to. So Ledger, when it comes to exploits, you're actually still able to connect to, for example, your MetaMask wallet, and then connect it to OpenSea, and you would still actually be drained, even if you have a Ledger, as soon as you approve any sort of transaction. And we actually do have a video of that live on our site. But at the same time, what differentiates mainly Traverse from a Ledger and other hardware solutions is that we secure your assets, even if your private key is compromised. And that's the number one security offering that we provide, which is whenever someone has your private key, even if they log on to the Traverse D app, they would still need your MFA codes for any type of asset withdrawals or any type of asset transfers to actually occur. And at the same time, we're recoverable. So we enable recoverability even if you don't have access to that private key. Something like Ledger doesn't have that recoverability. They do have a new offering of it, which is done through KYC. But it is still relatively new, untested technology that might still have issues associated with it. This is the main factor of differentiation for the recoverability is that even if, for example, you log on to the Traverse D app with a completely brand new wallet, as long as you have your MFA codes handy and your recovery mechanism, which through Traverse could either be your personalized security questions or the standard 12-word phrase, you would still be able to recover your assets no matter what happens to your private key. Something like Ledger does not currently offer that.
Exactly, and I've heard of stories of people connecting their Ledger to sites and getting drained. And
we have it live. You
yeah.
can go to our X, just type in Ledger. You'll be able to see that we connected onto OpenSea, and we actually got one of our NFTs drained as well by connecting to a Discord. So that Discord had a bot which essentially forces you to verify your holdings, or what they say, verify your holding. When you connect to that site, you actually get your assets drained, and we got our NFT drained, which was in our Ledger. So ledgers are drainable. Oftentimes, they're not recoverable. And even when Ledger tried to introduce a recovery solution, that wasn't really taken well by a lot of different audiences, because there were certain exploits and certain backdoors potentially associated with that as well.
Yep. Mr. Shitty is asking if you're going to be attending Nashville's the convention in Nashville.
We'll probably look into attending Nashville. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
We'll be there.
So we'll all be able to link up.
Yeah, 100%.
That's awesome. All right. Let's see. You got a lot of questions about Traverse today, which is great.
Sure.
All right. So we're going to bounce in a couple of other questions outside of Traverse. Mr. Sheedy says, keeping in mind up against the dollar but down against Bitcoin, which ordinal assets are the best to buy right now, Shizzy?
I think the DMT stuff. I know that's weird hearing it from me, but I just think they're so cheap. I was getting vessels yesterday for like $100. Like, I couldn't believe it, and I think they're going to do really well. I think especially with the Tap Marketplace, and you probably know this better than I do, Abdul, but I'm hoping that they have DMT Marketplace, because no offense to the Block Runner guys, but that marketplace is not the best right now. I think it's hard to use. I kept getting errors. It wasn't letting me buy as many as I wanted to. I had to buy one at a time and stuff like that. So they're definitely, I'm sure they're going to upgrade it and stuff like that. But I'm sure, do you know anything if the Tap Marketplace has DMT and stuff like that as well?
Yeah, I'm not sure what entirely I am able to say right now. So what I can say is that DMT utilizes Tap, right? So I would anticipate that support would be readily available, let's say.
Okay, sounds good to me. For me, honestly, I think getting anything as cheap as you're getting them from Mscribe is probably going to at least 10x for sure. And I think they move up against the dollar and Bitcoin. If you're buying something like a Node Monkey, for instance, right now, it's 0.2, but I am a crazy person and I think Bitcoin's going to hit 700K. So does that 0.2 still, is Node Monkey going to be $150,000 at 0.2? I don't know. Yagobi thinks so. Yagobi thinks that it can get to 2 or 3 Bitcoin. Potentially, it could. I mean, it's a small supply, 10,000. So it's hard to say. For me, those numbers are hard to fathom because I'm somebody who eventually is going to be loading up on Bitcoin towards the end of the cycle and getting out of some high risk stuff. So it's really hard to say if to answer this. But you guys want to answer this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that it's going to hit that 1 or 2 floor Bitcoin when Bitcoin's at $750,000.
Yeah.
But I do think those top tier ordinal collections do get, like, it's going to surprise everybody, just like this last run up surprised everybody. You have to think, we're not thinking in dollars, we're thinking in Bitcoin. And like when you're in the heat of the moment, things are getting bullish. So Bitcoin, if Bitcoin gets to like 130,000, 150,000, those price points, I can see that's whenever things start to ramp up for floor prices, maybe even a little bit higher. But yeah, once it gets to like 750,000, I think that's whenever people will probably be like, okay, do I want to spend this much in USD for these things, right? But anyways, for me, I do think, like, right now NodeMux is 0.177. I think that's a good buy. If you can get that below 0.1, that would be amazing. But I think Bitcoin's really got to crap the bed for that to happen. Frogs, to me, I mean, this has been like my freaking, I've been like preaching about frogs for months now. I'm like trying to convince myself now, because like they've been staying at 0.05 like for like months. But to be fair, when everything draws back, frogs draw back the least. And I think it's because it took a lot of the bleed out earlier. So, I mean, I still stick by my conviction with them. I think that they will be a good buy as well. Nat Cats for sure. I think that they're very undervalued right now at 0.014. It's the first DMT or UNAT, and it also got to 0.16. I think it gets higher than that. I think it could hit an all-time high of like 0.3, 0.4 Bitcoin, maybe higher. Who knows? And then Royals, to me, those are value buys. I also am bullish on ALU. I know that's dropped off a lot in Bitmap Emporium. I know that's dropped off some too, but those communities are really strong. Cultish for ALU, Bitmap Emporium's just got really good leadership, and so that's mine. What about you, Abdul?
I like the DMT projects. I like the Bitcoin vessels. I like the Royals, Nat Cats, and most recently, I've been taking a look at some emerging DMT projects, including DMT Natamons, which is a gamified experience with actual cards that you're able to battle against other players with as well. So that's something you guys can look forward to seeing in the near future.
Yeah, 100%. And for me, like, also real quick though, is like what usually happens, what's happening right now is we're getting a bunch of these mini cycles inside of a super cycle. I think that's what we're in right now. And I think each mini cycle is going to have new stuff, and that new stuff is going to run harder than the old stuff. And I think this new stuff is going to be the tap tokens and the DMT stuff as well. So, and I think, eventually everyone's going to notice that soon. Whatever is the most liquid and whatever is the most the new sought after, that's what's usually going to pump the hardest. And you saw what happened in the last part of it. And I think we're going to get many of these little cycles inside of the super cycle. And I think you just keep chasing the newer shiny stuff. And I think that's how you'll do the best, honestly. But I think the old stuff does pump as well, just not as hard as the newer stuff.
And the reason you would be chasing the new shiny stuff is because liquidity is limited. I mean, if you take a look at if anyone from the audience is interested, just type in on-chain activity, and you would be able to see that the on-chain activity on Bitcoin is likely the lowest it has been since 7 months. And to a certain extent, the same applies for Ethereum. So what you're seeing is the same type of liquidity just getting recycled over and over again. And keep in mind, Bitcoin is very much different to Ethereum. So Bitcoin TVL is quite low, and at the same time, most addresses are dormant. So most Bitcoin addresses, they're not, the ones with the most amount of Bitcoin, they're not active. They're not actually using that Bitcoin to buy ordinals and buy other assets as well. So as long as that's the case, I think liquidity is going to be limited, even if the price of Bitcoin jumps right now from 61 to 70. It just matters what type of retail what type of on-chain activity that actually brings in, and what type of market makers. Because something like Solana benefits from HFTs, which really resulted on all of the, the meme tokens that they have, and all of the market makers pumped that fund. It's because of how Solana is as a blockchain, which is something Bitcoin lacks. So that's just something you guys should probably keep in mind as well.
Yeah, 100%. So I think the biggest first step, so I love this conversation that we're having right now, but the biggest first step was building a sustainable on-chain economy for Bitcoin. That was not there before Ordinals. You had, counterparty stuff. It was so minimal, right? But after Ordinals comes, now you're talking about billions of dollars flowing in, right? But the problem is living liquidity. That's the biggest problem with Bitcoin, in my opinion, because instant gratification is not happening unless you have living liquidity, price go up quick. I want to hold longer. I want to see how this can this get to $1 billion market cap, rather than the swap meet style trading. So I think one of the major functionalities that's going to be coming to Bitcoin's on-chain economy is going to be staking, and that it's going to be layer 1 staking. It's possible. We've seen it's coming.
Yeah. Right.
So that's going to build up to Shizzy's point. Whenever we both figured out it's coming, he brought up right off the bat. He said TVL. Bitcoin's TVL is going to increase dramatically once that starts to happen. I imagine we start to see TVL increase on Bitcoin in the next 3 months pretty dramatically because of this. So get excited for that, guys. But yeah, it's just a process of really like maturing, right? This ecosystem and this on-chain economy. And we're in the earliest, think of the earliest days. If you guys ever were there for the earliest days of Ethereum's blockchain, even earlier than that, probably just think about what that looked like. And that's where we probably are right now. But we have the ability to kind of fast forward a little bit because we've seen how these other blockchains evolved in that way. And that's the best benefit I think Bitcoin has. Even though we're the first, blockchain, we have the benefit of seeing these other test nets, if you will.
I agree.
So
100%.
All right. We're going to get through these last couple of questions here because we do have a meeting coming up. Redziak says, how much track do you think is necessary to be eligible for track validation? You want to knock this out, Shizzy?
Yeah, so from my understanding is that it doesn't matter how much track you have, but you're going to be in a weighted pool. So what that means is the more track you have, let's just say the more balls you'll have in the lottery. So let's just say if you have 10,000 track, you potentially think of it as like 10,000 balls inside this weighted. Or if you have 10,000 give, it might be the same thing. 10,000 pipe, same thing. So just because I have potentially, let's just say I'm rich and I have $1 million in track, doesn't mean I'm going to be eligible for the validator. I still have to be picked by the lottery system. The lottery system is the 13th. The snapshot is the 7th for your holdings. The lottery system is the 13th, and then the pre-sale is the 14th.
Yeah. So I think his question was more like, what do you think is a good amount to have in terms of ratio?
It doesn't matter. You got to get lucky.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
I just want to correct just one quick thing. So the weighted. The way the weighted works is it's based on the amount of time you've held either track, pipe, gig, and minus tab.
Or you're using block height.
It's like how many, how many days, how many months you've held those tokens for. It's also based on the amount of these tokens that you actually hold, which makes sense. And last thing is it's based on the interactions that you have with tap and pipe. And what does interactions mean? It's basically, for example, token transfers, minting, whether you buy like a tap ecosystem, type of token as well. So if you buy Ghosty, if you bought NAT, all of this counts. If my understanding is correct, if you minted DMT projects, if you minted the Royals, if you bought NatCats, if you bought BTC vessels, all of these types of interactions count. And 30 of the 30 or 10% of the 300 validators sold in round 1 will be based on a raffle. So how much track is necessary to hold? The answer is 300, because you need 300 to actually buy the validator, because you're transferring out to that pool, deposit pool.
Well, so let's say I do get picked. Can I buy as many as I want?
I can imagine that there could be a limit. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest.
I'd buy them all.
Yeah, there's no way they're gonna have it uncapped at 300 track. Because what if they hit a huge whale? Then it's gonna be very you know, just it's not really fair, right? So, but good answers there, guys.
So right now I can get close to 40 if they allow me to get them. So
yeah, but they won't. They're not. They're gonna. I mean, 300. You have to. There's a reason why the price increases, right? It's because they're gonna have them there. Kai Effect says, where can I buy negative tap from?
satsx.io.
satsx.io. So from my knowledge, that's the only place that you can purchase that, right?
Because I don't think Ordinal's Wallet doesn't have negative tokens. You can't buy negative assets there.
Yeah. So that there, and then once the Tap marketplace and possibly the Tap wallet and Explorer marketplace. So there's going to be multiple marketplaces, guys. It's going to get fun here in a little bit. All right. Mauricio says Liquid is a federation, so is more centralized than Lightning. Ooh, I did not know that.
They're trying to decentralize it though. Adam Back is trying to decentralize that, the whole Blockstream team. So it's newer. It's obviously a lot newer than Lightning is, and it's Adam Back's creation. So with Opcat, it'll allow it to become potentially a layer 2 on top of Bitcoin.
Yep. And then we'll finish it here. Kai says, did everyone get the Tap token airdrop? I don't see mine. Oh, Mr. Sheedy helped you out. Okay, I see. He says, as of last weekend, I hadn't received either. Didn't look at the vault. Okay, yeah. So Tap's airdrop is going to be announced when that happens, but is it up to CoinList? I don't know how that mechanism works.
I'm assuming they mean the Traverse Tap token airdrop.
Oh, okay.
So Mr. Shiddy. Yeah. So based on the timing of if I understand correctly, Mr. Shiddy is saying that vault. So I'll make sure that Mr. Shiddy's airdrop is completed if it hasn't been done yet. But there was someone else in the Discord who mentioned that they transferred the OG pass into the vault. But I checked, they transferred it out. They transferred it after the snapshot date by a few hours. But I'll see what I can do for them as well.
Okay. And you can see here, I got mine for holding this order. So you can see it right here. How much Traverse did you got? So it's not the Tap token; it's the Traverse Tap token.
Yeah. Now you just got to figure out your email, and then you're good.
Yeah. We'll make sure.
Definitely a user issue. I'll figure it out.
If anyone has any problems with Yahoo, Hotmail, if you encounter any problems or feedback with Traverse, please do shoot them our way on Discord, on Ordinal Revolution Discord with the Traverse questions, X, Telegram. We'll manage it all, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. And I appreciate everyone's patience with us.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you, Abdul, hanging out with us as always every Wednesday. Your class act and always educating the space along our side. So we appreciate that.
I appreciate you guys for having me, and we'll talk soon. Maybe even sooner than Wednesday if plans work out. Yeah.
Sounds good.
100%. See you, man.
Thank you, guys.
Right,
Take care.
Later. You too.
All right, guys. That's absolutely amazing. We appreciate Abdul joining us every single week. You want to hit on our partners?
Yes. Please check out our partners. We got Ordinal Hive, the blur of Bitcoin. They are building on native Bitcoin as well as Merlin. That soft launch is coming up any day. Earn your points, bridge over your assets from their list of available assets to trade. They're going to have a lot of sniping tools, a lot of trading tools over there. And you can earn passes, points, and you guys know what points usually turn into. I'll leave it at that. Fluid tokens, they have their runes decks. We're going to actually meet with Raul very soon, go over some exciting announcements. You guys need to make sure you're following us on those updates. We're going to announce something very soon on that. Just interact with the site. You're going to earn points there. Another point system. So you know what that means. And then VDEX is going to be launching on Merlin very soon as well. And then you got Traverse Labs, the #1 solution on Bitcoin for security on Bitcoin Layer 1 app.
Yeah, and potentially we might have Raul on Friday. So I know there was a question for Fluid by Yasher, but definitely get that back for Raul. He'll be on Friday as well. But guys, go check out ordinalrevolution.com. We have some of the best articles. We have a new article here. So if you guys are not caught up on Fractal Bitcoin, this is the spot for you guys. Just go to ordinalrevolution.com and just click here and you can see it. And if you know someone who's new to Ordinals or who have experience on Solana and these other chains, send them our website. They can really get caught up everything that's happened over the course of last year. We have articles dating back, since November. So definitely go check that out. And then going to Bitcoin Nashville, I recommend you guys coming here, getting 21% off. Do not pay full price. Come get our code here. Click this or click right here, and that'll allow you guys to get the 21% off. Yep. And if you're going
just real quick, the 21% off, you got to pay in Bitcoin, but that's even better.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, you could just convert it to Bitcoin, right? So easy, stupid not to pay in Bitcoin, especially to Bitcoin Magazine. And then if you guys are going, make sure you guys go to the store here. We had a monster order yesterday from one of you guys. We appreciate you guys, using our store to purchase the stuff. And if there's anything on the store that you would like us to add, we can add anything for you guys. So just let us know what you want added. We can add some as well. But we do have some of the best stuff here. You just go to view all, and you can kind of see everything that we have here. We have so many different types of different stuff. We got school bags, we got hats, we got shirts. So please at least just take a look at this, guys. And if you're not wearing our gear, just wear someone else's. Let's get as much Ordinal gear in Nashville as possible, and that would be absolutely amazing. And guys, we're live Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 4 p.m. in Europe. So check us out all week, Monday to Friday. We'll be here tomorrow. Not many people are working, but Ordinal Revolution will. We don't stop because it's an American holiday and everyone else is out partying and getting drunk. No, we're here. We're studying. We're making sure this bull market is the best for not just us, but for you guys as well. We want everyone in our community. We want everyone in Ordinals to succeed. And if that means working 24/7 for you guys, we will definitely do that. I think I hit everything, right?
Yep, I think that's it.
All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Peace.
We OG, oh no, G. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload, yeah. Experts on reload, yeah. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Experts on reload. Man, pool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock, ayy. Rooms is coming, everybody on a knot, ayy. It's a nuisance, Ordinal Revolution, ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, it's my guy for real, bro. Got French right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, like it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nookies on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me.